Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I will cover Vizag Steel Management Training. This is 2010 or 2009 paper. Technical part 2 I will cover. This is technical paper part 3. Question is, where is the regulating valve provided in a centrifugal pump? It's delivery pipe. A regulating valve they are providing in delivery side. What are air vessels used for in a reciprocating pump? This question was asked in IAS also. Smoothen the flow. A is the answer. What is the face of the gear tooth? If this is a gear, pitch circle, this is a gear. Surface of the top of the tooth. Top of the tooth means this area. This is called as top land. Then surface of tooth above the pitch surface. This area. This is called as face. Width of tool below the pitch surface. Below the pitch surface. This width. Tooth widths. Then width of tooth measured along the pitch circle. This one. This is also. Answer is surface of tooth above pitch surface. This is face, and below pitch surface this area, this is flank. Flank and face. What is the mechanism consisting of 4 links called as? Answer is simple mechanism. If compound mechanism, then it consists of more than 4 links. For 4 links, it's a simple mechanism. Then, what does the specific speed of a hydraulic turbine depends on? Specific speed of turbine. N root P H to the power 5 by 4. So here N is RPM, revolution per minute. P is power in kilowatt. This is very important. Power in kilowatt. Head, this is head H. So speed, power developed and head of water. D is the answer. Specific speed of hydraulic turbine depends on speed, power developed and head of water. A body is subjected to a direct tensile stress of 300 MPa in one plane accompanied by a single shear stress of 200 MPa. What would be the maximum normal stress? Sigma 1 we have to calculate maximum normal stress. Sigma 1. Major pinfall stress. Direct tensile stress. Sigma x is 300 Newton per mm square or MPa. Single shear stress sigma xy is 200 Newton per mm square or MPa. We have to calculate sigma 1. In 2 methods I will solve this question. Whichever is convenient to you, you use that formula. Morse circle method I will do. Here sigma axis and tau axis. Sigma x given 300 MPa, so mark a point 300 MPa. Sigma xy is 200 MPa. Then mark the midpoint 0 to 300, it's 150. Take it as O. Then join here. This is A point, B point, then here C point. OC is the radius of Morse circle. AO distance is 150, AC distance is 200. We have to calculate OC. OC equal to AO square plus AC square root over 150 square plus 200 square root over 150 square is here 15 square 22500 plus 400 40 00 take common. 100 root is 10 into 225 plus 400, it's 625. Then 10 into 625 root is 25, so you will get 250 MPa. This is radius of Morse circle. Then draw the Morse circle. And find out sigma 1 and sigma 2. Name the points. Here take D, this point D and E. Sigma 1 is D point, this is 150 plus 250. So you will get sigma 1 equal to 400 MPa or Newton per mm square. Here sigma 2 is 150 here, AO, then 100. This is minus 100 Newton per mm square or MPa. In this question they asked sigma 1, so major principal stress you have to calculate. This is 400. D is the answer. Second method I will use. Direct formula. Sigma 1 2 is sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus or minus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy whole square. So here only sigma x 300 by 2 plus or minus 300 by 2 whole square plus shear stress is 200 square root over 150 plus or minus 150 square plus 200 square already calculated, you will get 250. So sigma 1 we have to calculate 150 plus 250, it's 400 MPa. Sigma 2 not required, you will get minus 100 MPa. So this is the answer. Same answer we will get. Whichever is convenient to you, you use that formula. Same D answer we will get. In terms of Poisson's ratio, the ratio of Young's modulus to shear modulus of elastic materials is this one 2 times asked in ISRO examination also, so many times asked in IES, also in other PSU examination this one is asked. So this is very, very important. One plus Poisson's ratio two into Poisson's ratio. Then so the three relations are important. In this question they asked Poisson's ratio, shear modulus and Young's modulus, E, G and Poisson's ratio. You have to use this one, E equal to 2G into 1 plus gamma. Then ratio you have to calculate Young's modulus E to G. So 2 into 1 plus gamma. This is the answer. So from option 2 into 1 plus gamma, A is the answer. 2 into 1 plus gamma. A body is subjected to a tensile stress of 1200 MPa on one plane and another tensile stress of 600 MPa on a plane at right angles to the former. It is also subjected to a shear stress of 400 MPa on the same planes. What would be the maximum normal stress? This question already, this type of questions I already solved. Here I will use that Mohr circle method. That second method you do yourself. So data are sigma x is 1200 MPa, then sigma y, both are tensile, 600 MPa, tau xy 400 MPa. In method 1, I am solving this question in Mohr circle method. At other method you do it and comment whether you are getting that answer or not. Sigma versus tau. Sigma 1, it's sigma x 1200, then sigma y also given, sigma y 600 MPa, here 600 MPa. Then take the midpoint, mark it as O, midpoint you will get 900. Tau also given, tau xy shear stress it's 400, so then 600 and 400 this point. Then draw the Mohr circle radius, mark the points A, B, here C. CO the radius of the Mohr circle. So AO value is 300, AC already given 400, CO you calculate, CO you will get 300 square plus 400 square 500 MPa. You will get root, take the root over, then you will get 500. So this is 500 MPa. Draw the Mohr circle. This is the Mohr circle. Radius is CO. Sometimes they may ask minor principal stress. That time you have to or maximum value of shear stress. Maximum value of shear stress is the radius of Mohr circle 500. Here you will get, mark the points D and E. At D point this is sigma 1 major principal stress, and at E point is sigma 2 minor principal stress. Major principal stress you will get 900 plus 500, so 1400 MPa. This is major principal stress. Then minor principal stress 900 minus 500, 600 MPa. Shear stress maximum tau max is 500 MPa. So in this question they ask what would be the maximum normal stress sigma 1. So D is the answer, 1400 MPa. In second method, which answer you are getting, you just comment whether you are getting or not. If your answer is not matching, you go to the question number 55, that second method, you check same method, you apply here, you will get the same answer. 1400 answer you will get. How can the resultant of two forces P and Q such that P is greater than Q acting along the same straight line but in opposite direction be given as resultant? P is greater than Q, so R is resultant, it's P minus Q, so B is the answer, P minus Q. For different beams and load condition, I already made one separate video. You just check that one. That is very important for all examination. Even if GATE examination also they are asking that type of some question based on this formula. So all formulas from that video you just remember. In this question, a simply supported beam A of length L carries a central point load W. Another beam B is loaded with a uniformly distributed load such that the total load on the beam is W. What would be the maximum deflection between beams A and B? Maximum deflections between A and B. So A is simply supported beam or SS beam with central load, point load W. This is beam A. And for beam B, SS beam with UDL and total load is W. This is UDL and total load is W. Here delta maximum is, deflection maximum is WLQ by 48 EI. These things already discussed in my that separate video for slope and deflection. Here delta max is 5 by 384. W is the total load, WLQ by EI. So delta A divided by delta B you have to calculate. EI divided by 5 by 384 WLQ by EI. Cancel. You will get 1 by 48 into 384 divided by 5. So this is 48. 48 means take 12 into 4, then 12 into 3, then 12 into 2, 24, 8. We'll get 8 by 5. So from option 8 by 5, B is the answer. What is the point through which the whole weight of the body acts irrespective of its position, known as, this is center of gravity, CG point, the whole weight of the body acts. How can the Young's modulus may be defined as? E is defined as direct stress by direct strain, or linear stress by linear strain. So from option C is the answer. When can the forces be called as non-coplanar, non-concurrent? Non-coplanar and non-concurrent. So meet at one point means concurrent. This won't follow. Do not meet at one point means non-concurrent. Then their lines of action do not lie on the same plane. B is the answer. C, do not meet at one point. This is non-concurrent, but their lines of action lie on the same plane. So this is coplanar. Lines of action lies on same plane. D, meet at one point. One point means this is concurrent, and lines of action lie in the same plane means coplanar. So B is the answer. Do not meet at one point and their lines of action do not lie on the same plane. What happens if a bar of length L, width B and thickness T is subjected to a push of P? Push means compression. Compression means length will decrease, width will increase and thickness will increase. Volume will remain same. Volume initial equal to volume final. So from options, length decreases, width and thickness increases. D is the answer. If it is the case of pull or tension, then length will increase and width will decrease, thickness will decrease. You will get C answer. What is the angle made by the face of the tool and the plane parallel to the base of cutting tool is called as? This type of question I already discussed in ISRO production paper. So this is the turning tool. This is side view. Side view. Then this is base. Here it is base. Parallel to the base means this line. And face of the tool is this one. This is face of tool. Or rack face also you can call. So this angle is rack angle. This is rack angle. So A is the answer. Face of tool and the plane parallel to the base of the cutting tool. This plane is parallel to the base and this is face. So angle is rack angle. Clearance angle you will get here. This is clearance angle. Then leap angle is here. To what limit or point Hooke's law holds good? Hooke's law definition is within proportional limit stress is proportional to strain. So up to proportional limit, nearby elastic limit. Then you will get yield point, then maximum point, then breaking point. So here answer is elastic limit. If in options both elastic limit and proportional limit we will get, then answer is proportional limit. Here proportional limit is not available, so elastic limit. Elastic limit is the answer. How can the resultant of two equal forces P making an angle theta be given as? Here first you have to know this one, cos 2 theta equal to 1 minus 2 sin square theta. Here and resultant R is, if two forces are P and Q, P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta root over. Here both are equal, so P square plus 2P square cos theta. So take common P, you will get 1 plus 2 cos theta. Then here 2 plus 2 cos theta, so root 2 you take common, root 2 into 1 plus cos theta you make cos 2 into theta by 2 whole root over. So here you apply here, if it is cos 2 theta by 2 you take as theta, then 1 minus 2 sin square theta by 2, theta you take as theta by 2, so you will get this one. Then you apply here cos 2 theta by 2, cos 2 theta you apply 1 plus 1 minus 2 sin square theta by 2. Then again root 2 you take common, you will get 2p into 1 minus sin square theta by 2. 1 minus sin square theta by 2 root over is cos square theta by 2. Root if you take cos theta by 2 you will get. So finally you will get cos theta by 2. So from option you have to check 2p cos theta. So from here 2p cos theta by 2, B is the answer. This trigonometric relation you have to remember. Then you just apply and you will get your answer. Question is, what is strain energy? A. Energy stored in a body when strained within elastic limit. This is the definition of resilience. Then B. Energy stored in a body when strained up to break of specimen. This is strain energy. Both are important. Then maximum strain energy which can be stored in a body. Proof resilience for unit volume of a material. This is modulus of resilience. So answer is B. At what efficiency a machine can be called as an ideal machine? Ideal machine which is 100%. Efficiency is output by input. So 100% efficiency. D is the answer for ideal machine. Question is, what is the beam fixed at one end and free at the free at the other end? Some spelling, free at the other end. So beam is fixed at one end and free at the other end. This is cantilever beam. Fixed beam you will get both sides. Fixed beam. Simply supported beam already discussed. And overhanging beam. This is overhanging beam. Simply supported beam is this one. then B is fixed beam, this is B, then overhanging beam, this is C, D cantilever beam. So beam fixed at one end, free at the other end. D is the answer. The total momentum of a system of masses in any one direction remains constant unless acted upon by an external force in that direction. The statement is called as A. Newton's first law of motion, B. Newton's second law of motion, C. Principle of conservation of energy, D. Principle of conservation of momentum. D is the answer. Principle of conservation of momentum. Thank you friends. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you.